Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General Yahanna presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahanna. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.
If God is about me personally and myself, then who the hell are you? Why should I care what I do to you if only God can judge me? If God knows my heart, if God doesn't want me to give a damn about you because we have a personal relationship, then I shouldn't care how I talk to you. I shouldn't fight for the evil things that happen to you. I should pray about it when it's you. But if something happens to me, I want someone to do something. And this is the problem, the many folded layers of problems that the lies that the Christian church teaches puts on our people. You understand? Everybody make sure you hit the like, hit the share, hit the thumbs up. Make sure that you like everybody. Make sure you hit the likes, all right? Go ahead, Yagadar.
Against powers.
Against powers. You understand? There's a system in place to make sure that if you are Black, Latino, or Native American, you never get the full American rights that everybody else. If you have a Black business, there's a system in place to make sure that every Black business cannot be in direct equal competition with every white business. If you are a Black farmer, there is a system in place to make sure that you aren't given the subsidies which they get from money and taxes that the government gets from taking it out of our checks, out of our taxes, out of the fees and fines that you pay to the city, the state, the county, and the federal government. That money, that system is designed to benefit white people. It's a system. It's designed that way with education so that you don't get the best Black education. It's just coming out now. A sister who's an educator put it on YouTube that they purposely put Latinos into the remedial special education classes and categorize them as ESL classes or learning as a second language classes. When they first set that system up, it wasn't designed so that they could excel in English. It was designed so that they got a substandard education to never be in competition with white children who were getting a better quality education. It wasn't designed so that your schools, even though you may pay higher taxes based on your income in major cities like Richmond, like Norfolk, like Baltimore, like Washington, D.C., like Philadelphia, like New Orleans and Detroit and Chicago, multi-billion-dollar economy cities. You understand? Very high economies. But it's not designed so that the resources go to you. There's a system in place. And it doesn't change if you sit in the white seat. It doesn't change if you wear the white uniform. It doesn't change if you're a part of the white government. It doesn't change if you're a part of the white military. The military set up a system or codes so that you, as a Black man who disproportionately will get the razor bumps from shaving, So that you need a shaving profile so that you don't have bloody open sores on your face trying to look like a white man having a smooth toddler bottom face. You understand? It's designed against you. It's designed so that you go on the front line. General Patton said, the one complaint that I had about black soldiers is that there wasn't enough of them. That was the biggest complaint that I had. Why? Because you can go and fight and kill and die for the system. You can wear the uniform and salute the flag. You can march and be the super sniper and the super Navy SEALs and the Green Beret and the Devil Dog Army man or the Navy sailor or the Air Force pilot. You can do all you want, and guess what will happen? You will have to endure all manner of hatred, racism. You look like a monkey. Why don't you shave your head? Where's your tail? The Vietnam War, the Korean War. How the hell did the Asians learn how to call you a nigger? How did they learn that? They learned it from the white men who you are keeping alive in the jungles of Vietnam. That's who they learned it from. The system is against you, and you must learn this. If you are Black, Latino, and Native American, it is a part of the protection and the covering from God Almighty himself with the Holy Spirit of God sent by request of Jesus Christ that you must learn America hates you. You are not allowed to join them. You cannot marry them. You cannot take their God. You cannot take their culture. God will not allow you to be one of them. This is an armor that you must spiritually put on yourself. It's an armor. You have to wear it, and it's spiritual, and you need it from the time you are a baby. You need it because you see all on the internet the racist teachers making fun of the Black and Latino kids, the PTA meetings where they on the Zoom call with a racist white teacher saying, I want to turn in that family so I can get my student's family deported. She forget her microphone is on. You see they send a little boy to school and then they paint a bullet wound in his head like it's a goddamn joke. The system is against you. That's why slavery is not in the textbook. That's why they want you to believe you're an African when you come from the Middle East. That's why they want you to believe that Latinos. That's why they want you to believe that you have a heritage with the white man from Spain because you're light skinned. When nowhere else on the damn planet do they equate being light skinned to being white. The Asians that you see on TV, damn near are white as a ghost. But they don't equate them to being part white in the Asian world. The Arabs that you see, like Khomeini, who the white man just killed, white as a ghost. But they don't equate him to being a white man because he's light-skinned. The light-skinned Africans, they don't equate them to being part white or mixed with white because they're not dark brown. That don't mean you're another race. All of this garbage and lies come if you don't have the armor of God to protect you so that your spirit is set the proper way. This is what these scriptures are talking about. This is what the whole Bible has been talking about from the very beginning. Keep going, Yagador.
Against the rulers of darkness of this world.
Against the rulers of darkness. Who has the power and the authority of darkness? Who rules? The preacher. Christian preachers rule in this authority. The only reason that everybody believes that it is acceptable that some of us die is because the Christian preacher is a ruler of darkness. And you don't think he's a ruler of darkness because he wears a nice suit. He talks very eloquently. He make you feel a certain way when you hear him rap and rhyme. He's shiny. He got money. Got Bentleys and private jets and Cadillacs and Lincolns, excursions. You respect and look up to him, even though he's not taught you anything about the Bible. He's the reason that instead of looking around the city and saying life is terrible because of you, because you have the wealth, you have the resources, you are the one that speaks for God, and yet you didn't warn us about drugs, about heroin. You didn't teach us how to deal with traffic stops. You didn't tell brothers to not leave sisters after they have sex with them. You didn't teach us not to eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. You didn't teach us not to get high, not to be drug dealers, not to vote, not to join the military. You didn't teach us anything that God told us would be our armor. You taught us nothing. They rule in darkness. Child molestation is so prevalent in the Black, Latino, and Native American community because of the Christian church. If not for the Christian church, the issue with how much child molestation that happens in the Black, Latino, and Native American community, it would be at the forefront of every blackity black and brownie brown conversation chat. It would be right in the front. But because the Christian church says, you know, you got to give it to God, Jesus take the wheel, everything's going to be all right. Just sing your way out of it, dance your way out of it, just praise and shout your way through. That's what the Christian church teaches our people. That is an evil thing. That is a level of evil that is so cruel to tell a victim that they should just sing and just pretend like it didn't happen. You should just sing about it, dance about it, shout about it, praise about it. That's because the Christian church is the house of Satan.
Damn right. Most High in Christ. Go ahead, clap it up. Hey, shalom, brothers and sisters. Let me put this mic on this side. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Bear with me. Shalom. Yahweh Bashem Thumb to all the brothers. Yahweh Shemal Thun Bashem Yahshua to all the sisters. I'm Priest and Officer of 5,000 Malak. This is the Wednesday night law class, and tonight's class topic is about focus and where your focus should be. Give Captain Dr. Shah a hand out of VA, the camp leader of VA. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Always breaking the scriptures down heavy. The brother who raised me up and taught me up in this truth. All right. There we go. That's a lot better. All right. Let me know if you can or you can't hear me. If you can't hear me, you can't hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, put a 1W in the chat. All right. All right. Here we go. All right. Most High in Christ. Give tonight's class a. All right. Now, as everyone sees when you turn on the TV, you can't help but see the World War III that's taking place in the Middle East right now in Iran. Right. First and foremost, let me just say, sign in if you're a young brother or a young sister that wants to earn their Hebrew name. Make sure you're signing in. All right. There we go. IO on there. Most High in Christ. Make sure y'all are logging in, signing in. Right. Also, the Lord's Passover, April 4th, which is in 3 weeks. Make sure you're paying that Passover fee. Make sure you get your affairs in order. Right. Passover is where your focus should be. The Lord Christ is where your focus should be, especially in these perilous times. Everyone understand? Tonight, we're going to tell you where your focus should be, in addition to breaking down World War III. And we're going to do it every Wednesday, every week, right, until Christ returns. Because we are living in a time that our forefathers prayed for. We're living in the time that our ancestors, our forefathers who were picking cotton and cutting sugar cane, that they begged the Lord for. Or they were cutting and chopping wood as they were serving our oppressor. As they were getting their backs whipped, they were crying out to the Most High God, send down, sweet chariot, stop. Swing down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. Swing down, sweet chariots. You know, our brothers and sisters, our forefathers, our great-grandmothers, they always have begged God to save them. And the Lord is hearing their prayers. And so if you are alive in this day, in this age, watching bombs fly across Iran, bombs hitting Saudi Arabia, bombs hitting Iran, bombs hitting United States military bases, bombs hitting Beirut, Lebanon, bombs hitting Tel Aviv, Israel, day and night, as you're living through the perilous times of illness and pestilence, as you're living through perilous times of low fruit, low vegetables, no food, as you're living through the times that our King Christ warned us about, there is a focus that you better have in these last days. In these last days, there is something that you could do. You could be distracted by what you see like everyone else. You can get carried away by what you see like everyone else. You could read articles from Al Jazeera and CNN and Fox News. You could read articles from BBC. You could read articles from the New York Times, the Daily Post, the United Post. You could read the articles in the news and you can get distracted and get swallowed up in the distractions of this world. Or you could listen to the men of God under command of General Yahanna and the I.S.U.P.K and learn where you better put your effort, your focus, your resources in these last days. Everyone understand? So with that being said, there was a few things I wanted to get into in the news today. Before we go into tonight's topic, I wanted to get into a few things. First is the article right here. And this is, of course, this idiot Trump. Oh, let me remove this, okay? Of course, this idiot Trump, who white people voted for, knowing he was going to start World War III. This is something I wanted to share. It's something I noticed, I watched, I read, right? This is from CBS News, right? Before I jump there, right, let me just say, Donald Trump held a press conference today about the war in Iran. Everyone understand? And as he held this press conference outside of the White House, they asked him, of course, about is there a timetable on when the world war is going to end? And this idiot said, I can end the war whenever I want. I can do whatever I want. I'll end it whenever I want, right? There's an article. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Hey, shalom, priest. How about you? What's going on, Kakam?
Hey, shalom, how about you?
Yeah, right. Go ahead. Clap up for priest officer Kakam. Right. It's good to see you always. How you feeling, Doc?
Oh man, I'm Tawab, you know. What a time to be alive, you know.
Who you telling, Kakam?
Being fulfilled, you know, that the men of the Lord been speaking about since 1969. But don't get no better than that. You know, but we stay focused. You gotta stay focused.
Damn right, damn right. Goddamn right. Listen, that's the truth, brother. And we need to focus on the truth. We need to focus on the Lord, focus on these scriptures, focus on our records, focus on where we're going to be putting our resources. For the last 200 years, Black people have been putting our resources, Hispanics and Native Indians, we've been putting our resources back into America, Can you believe that? We've been putting our resources into the Christian church, putting our resources into the wicked, evil politicians' hands who gives it to Jeffrey Epstein, who's giving it to men like Donald Trump. And then Donald Trump takes all of your resources and gives them to the Israeli government so that you can go homeless, broke, and poor, fighting his wars and battles and be homeless, broke, and poor with no food, no woman, no legs, no limbs. We've been giving our energy, our spirit, and our effort to the wrong thing all along. But now you're going to learn under the command of General Yahanna and the I.S.U.P.K where you better be giving your effort to, your resources to, your money to. Everyone understand? All right, let's go. I have this article could come. I'm about to pull it up. All right, you're going to stay on the screen with me. But I wanted to pull this up, and I'm going to read it real quick. Right? It says live updates. This is live news, okay? This is live news. This is this is right now, okay? This is March 11th. What's today's date? Yeah, this is March 11th.
It's 11.
Yeah, this is right now, right? It says 7:21 p.m., right? Eastern time. So this is right now. This says what to know as the U.S. and Israel's war with Iran continues. Suspected Iranian drones hit at least 3 ships in and around the Strait of Hormuz overnight, continuing attacks that have paralyzed traffic through the vital shipping lane, despite a stern warning from President Trump. Okay, this is what I want to get to. This is what it says. I got 2 parts on this update from the war that I want to share. President Trump has said again that the war will end soon whenever he decides. Let me highlight this like you do, Coco. President Trump has said again that the war will end soon whenever he decides it should, as Iran says it's ready for a long-term war of attrition that would destroy the entire American economy. Iran also warned that it would start targeting U.S.-linked banks across the Middle East. That's number one, right? Remember that. This is number two. Approximately 140 U.S. service members were wounded in the first 10 days of the war with Iran, the Pentagon said Tuesday. As Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth said, the U.S. and Israel were winning the war and rapidly meeting their objectives. Yet, your children are going to die. This is the first thing I want to show could come, is that your children are going to die. That's what is number one. I don't care if they're in our oppressor's military, if they're in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, or the Marine. Your children are going to die simply because of your pride. That's something that I will never understand, could come. The pride. Now, I do understand it because I'm a Judite. Me and you are Judites, and we know that Judites have a lot of pride, but we don't have pride like the white man does. Donald Trump said, this war is going to end when he wants it to end. Brother, that's hubris. Donald Trump didn't even decide to go into this war. Everyone knows that, right? Everyone have been listening to the news. You see, Donald Trump is putting the blame on everybody. So if Donald Trump is not even the reason why we're going into the war, he's not the reason why the war is going to end. Everyone understand? And also for you Democrats out there, Kamala Harris would have done the same thing. You would have been in the same position right now if Kamala Harris won, or if you would have voted for Bernie Sanders or an independent. You know why? Because this is the doing of the Most High God, which is why it's so apropos, which is why it's so heavy to come. It's poignant to the point of tonight's class that you don't control anything. We're going to go over Matthew 6 in a minute. You don't control anything, not the hair on your head, not the time of the year, not the seasons. You don't control the sun rising or the sun setting. There is only one thing you do control, Kakum, and that is where you put your focus. That's it. Everything else, the Most High God controls. Everything else he controls. But you control where you put your focus, where you put your resources, where you give your time to. You control that. God controls everything else, including the war in the Middle East right now, including Iranian World War III right now. God controls that too. But your focus, you control. Everyone understand? All right? So first and foremost, Trump said he's going to end the war when he wants to. And once again, he's a crazy, deranged, foolish, selfish, disgusting, evil, wicked white man who is full of hubris, who's full of pride. We're going to get to that in 1 second. But also, they've been lying to the American citizens, which we've already known because we're under Command and General Yahanna. They've been lying to us about how many U.S. service members are dead over there. They're lying. Remember, right? And I'm going to tell you something, Kakum. I don't know if you ever served in our oppressor's military, but there is a ratio that they talk. If there are 7 dead casualties, right? There are 7 dead bodies. Give a ratio of like 6. So for every 1 casualty, every 1 death, multiplied by 7, 6 or 7, and that gives you the amount of injured personnel that you will have. You understand? So if there were 7 dead bodies, according to America's government, that means there had to be what? About 50 injured, which means if there are 150 injured U.S. military personnel, that means there's about how many? 20 dead bodies, really? They've only told us about 7, which should show you what? That you cannot believe your oppressor. You can't believe what he tells you. You shouldn't be paying attention to what CBS or ABC or Fox or CNN or MS Now tells you. You better pay attention to Command and General Yahanna. Look at this ticker at the bottom of this page. Tune in to America on Fire with Commanding General Yahanna on YouTube Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You better be there. You better pay attention to that, because that is the wisdom of God. That's real live update news. Commander Yahanna is going to fill blacks and Hispanics in on what is really happening and on what you should do to take precaution or to move forward. That's our news, and I can trust in it because it's been trusted since 1969. Could come since 1969. He's not going to give you false information because of propaganda, which is a beautiful thing about the truth. Here in the I.S.U.P.K, we don't have an agenda behind what we teach. We teach the truth. If something is the truth, we'll teach it. You understand? We're not here to teach you lies. Our job is to wake our people up with the truth. The Bible says the truth will make you free. That's in Christ said that. Christ said, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. What purpose or what good does it do us to tell you lies? I'll tell you this: America does them wonders to do them to tell lies to the people, because if Americans knew what was really going on, there may be organized revolution in the streets of America could come. The way there was organized revolution in the streets of Iran, the way there was organized revolution in the streets of Iraq and Afghanistan and Russia. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. That is going to come here to America, because people are beginning to listen to the truth, and they're not listening or paying attention to the lies of America. This is the day where you have so many people could come that are not believing the lies of this place anymore. There was a time back where you could not tell people that America was wrong, that America's politicians were lying. People would still show up to the voting polls. People would still go vote. People would still believe in their Barack Obama or George Bush or Bill Clinton. That was a time here in America. Me and you are old enough to remember that time. But this is the day we're living in now, where people are starting to, you even see white people who are hard-line Republicans, and they're starting to go, I don't know about this, man. That shows you that the time is at hand for the end of days. That lets you know that right there. When people stop believing the lies of the beast precept, there should be a falling, there must be a falling away first. Falling away from what? His lies. The son of perdition, or the son of sin, he is an expert liar. That is Donald Trump's best gift, is to lie. That's it. The white man's greatest gift is not to unalive, it's to lie. Next is to unalive. But his first gift is to do what? I come in peace. Jesus is white. God loves everybody. Forget about race. Forget about culture. Let's all build a tower to Babel. Let's all go up to heaven. God loves us no matter what. Only God can judge. These are things that your oppressor has taught you with the help of the Christian preacher, with the help of T.D. Jakes and Creflo Dollar. But make no mistake, the white man is the one who taught it to him first, because he is a liar. And that is his greatest ability, is to lie. The old serpent that's called the devil and Satan, that's his gift. That's the white man. He is a liar. And that's the only thing he's good at. That's his culture. That's his history. That's his elegy. You understand? It's to lie. So with his lies, what has he done? He's destroyed millions, billions of people. He's destroyed lands of people, mass numbers of people with his lies. But no more. No more. People are waking up to his lies. They're saying, I don't know if what he's saying is true. I can't believe Western media. You know how many posts I've seen people make that said, I can't believe what they're telling us on CBS could come. I can't believe what they're telling us on CNN. I can't believe it. I don't believe it. Because people are realizing that this white man is the devil all along. He's the deceiver of the earth. And that is the start of the downfall of Esau. Everyone knows. This cat here, he's been lying forever. Been lying forever. You had something you wanted to say, Kakam, before we got into the scriptures?
And if I could also, you know, like, you got to have the spirit of discernment, because right now with this technology, you know, they got AI and deep fakes and this and this and that. And, you know, sometimes I feel bad for the younger generation, because they ain't going to be able to know to decipher what from what. You know,
if they don't listen to us, they won't, Kakam.
Right. You know what I mean? So, especially, those in the world, they're gonna fall for any any okie doke that the oppressor puts out there. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Barakatah Yahweh Shah, that the Lord gave us the spirit of discernment to understand the wiles of the devil.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Damn right. Listen, brother, what he said is so heavy. It's the truth. Not only are the children, the elderly don't either.
Right.
The elderly don't understand what they're looking at. This is why you should come into the truth, both young and old. Because the man that is our enemy, he has no regard for the young or the old. So both generations should come into the truth. Both of you, I don't give a damn if you're 76 with a walker. Brother, you better come into the ISUPK. I don't care if you're 15 years old looking at colleges to attend next year. You better come into the UPK because it's going to save your life. Let's get Obadiah to come. Let's go to Obadiah. This is, brother, we're going to break this same chapter of the only chapter of Obadiah. We're going to break this book of Obadiah down every day until it's drilled in our people's heads. This is who the Bible is talking about. This is who the Bible is for. This Bible is for Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, contrary to popular belief. And the book of Obadiah is prophesying against Esau. Everyone, by the end of this war, is going to know who Esau is, thanks to Commander Yahanna's men. You're going to know. I'm going to drill it in your head every day. I'm going to make a TikTok every day about Obadiah and how this is who Esau is. You cannot escape who he is. The Edomites, is not the Arabs. The Edomites are not the children of Israel. The Edomites are no one but the white man. This is who he is, because this can only apply to one person. Read that, Baba Koshaka.
Which verse?
You can start at verse 1. Zalakia. Start at the beginning of the book. Shalom, sis. Yahweh Shamar, Latabah Shemal Shah. What's going on, sister Yapashi R? How you feeling, sis? Go ahead, Doc. You're going to be at Obadiah 1:1. That's where I want you to begin.
Obadiah 1:1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom.
Thus saith the Most High Power.
Thus saith the Most High Power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, from the Most High, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye.
An ambassador is sent amongst the heathen. You see this, this is talking about a prophet of God. Prophets of God are ambassadors between everyone else and our people, which is what Commander Yahanna has done with Black Watch. Is he's made this thing so for our people to understand, right? Not saying no other race of people can't watch and tune into Black Watch, to America on Fire, but it's Black Watch to tune into Black Watch. But this is an ambassador to the heathen, someone who understands the oppressor, who understands the Chinese, who understands the Arab, his history, his culture, his language, and his relationship to us, and then goes and tells the people what is going on with him. That's Black Watch, right? And that is who Obadiah is right here. He's a prophet of God, and a prophet's job is to be an ambassador. A prophet's job is not to go to war. That's in the book of Leviticus, or in the book of Numbers. Remember, the Levitical priests did not go to war. They were forbidden to, because that's not their job. A priest and prophet's job, not saying they can't defend themselves, but a prophet's job is to only be a prophet, not to raise animals, not to go to war, not to be a doctor. They're a lawgiver. They're a lawyer in the law of the Bible, in the book, in the Bible. You understand? That's their only job. And so they study culture, they study language, they study history, they study everything that is apropos to their job. Like any good geopolitical strategist, they go to a war college, then they go to West Point, or they go to Annapolis, Maryland, the Naval College, or they go to the Air Force Academy in Colorado. And then they go and they learn war. And then they get a degree in economics and history and military history. And they learn about the battles that David fought in the Bible at West Point. Then they learn about the angels' battles that are fought in the Bible. Then they learn about the military battles throughout world history. And then they put it onto a theoretical war board. And then they go to war. And that is what their job is. the job of the prophets of God as an ambassador to the heathen, guess what our job is? It's to learn about the heathen and their relationship to us. And then we go to our people and say, stay away from these white people, because these white people are liars. Precept, never trust thine enemy. Who said never trust thine enemy? Solomon. Is that in the wisdom of Solomon, or is that Ecclesiasticus? It's in Ecclesiasticus. Never trust thine enemies. Who said that? Solomon, who was the king of Israel. Why did he say that? Because he watched how his enemies treated their enemies. And he said that it's not normal for any living thing to want to be around the thing that's trying to attack them. That's called wisdom. Thus, wisdom of Solomon, or ecclesiastical, or Ecclesiasticus, which is wise sayings from wise men like King Solomon, like King David, like Asaph. You understand? These are wise men that dwelled amongst us, who are the heads, the kings, the princes that ruled over us. And they would have these wise sayings, and then they would have a scribe jot them down. How did they learn this? Through life, from being an aged man who's seen a lot of winters, like Commander General Yahanna or General Myman or General Mayak. You understand? And so now they're able to tell us, hey, don't trust these heathens. Never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. It's like you're wiping the looking glass and seeing who he really is. Don't make this mistake. My son, never take a whore. You see, we are the ambassador to the heathen, the prophets of God, because we can look at them, we can study them without going to marry them like Michael Jordan, without having sex with them like Terrence Howard, without having sex with them like Michael Jackson and Terrence Howard and Tiger Woods and Serena Williams. We're not swayed by the beauty of our oppressor. So we're able to look at them, study them, research them, and tell our people what we should do about them, how we go about doing business with them. That's the job of a prophet. And the Bible says, and an ambassador is sent amongst the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. You see, this is a prophecy from the Most High God. Everyone understand? The sister says to wives, her Most High Christ says, I'm glad you're doing well. You're damn right, sis. We can't trust these heathens. And the prophets of God knew it. The wise men knew it, because they looked at the behavior of our oppressor. Excuse me. They looked at the behavior of the heathens, and they told blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, don't be like them. Moses said, after the doings of the Egyptians, do not do. That's because Moses spent his entire life in Egypt with the heathen, with the Africans, with Mitzrayim, Matazarium, with Ham, with Canaan, you understand, with Elam. He spent years with them, and he knew these are disgusting folk. These are nasty people that get carvings for their dead in their flesh. So what did he tell us not to do? Don't get carvings for dead in your flesh. Don't get tattoos. Don't shave your head clean, because they shave their face and their hair because they are homosexuals trying to attract a man. How would Moses have known that? Because he lived amongst the heathen. That's how. He lived amongst the Midianites and the Egyptians. That's how he knew. Everyone understand? This is a prophet's job, to study your enemy and to tell your people a warning, to give them a warning. And it's the common folk job of Israel to take heed to the warning from the men of God. Keep going, Kakam.
Khan. Verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen.
You hear that? You hear that, Donald Trump? I hope Donald Trump is listening. Kakam, read that part again. What did the Lord say about Donald Trump?
I have made thee small among the heathen.
Do you know, this is what's so spiritual, Kakam, and what's so heavy about this particular sentence in this verse? I have made thee small amongst the heathen. You know why this is so heavy? Because the oppressor beats his chest like he's so big and mighty. But amongst the heathen in 2026, March 11th, he is small. He's getting his ass beat. What are y'all saying? What are the kids saying now? Belt to ass. He's getting BTA all up and down the Straits of Hormuz. Brother, they sunk a tanker, an oil tanker, just like they said they would. They're allowing China's oil tankers to give them oil because that's their ally. They're allowing Russians to go through. But if you're going to America, and they even said if you help America, you're getting bombed. They're not playing with America. Just like America wasn't playing with our forefathers. You see how that works, white people? As you're crying and mourning the dead of the soldiers of America, what you should be doing is you should be apologizing to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians for the crimes of your forefathers. That's what you should be doing. You should see what is happening in the Middle East as a wake-up call for you to go and give recompense to what your forefathers did. Your forefathers were evil, cruel. I learned this week about Dr. Kellogg. Do you know who Kellogg is? Like the Kellogg cereal? Do you know who he actually was? That's not a made-up name. Dr. Kellogg, who the Kellogg's brand cereal is named after, was a white man that lived up north, and he mutilated the genitals of children at his hospital. Did you know that, Ak?
Yeah, come. Half of these
say it again,
like John. I said half of these brand names like Johnson & Johnson,
yes,
Kraft, Kellogg, etc. They all was like old slave owners.
Yes,
all that. That's why they got these big conglomerations and companies, is because they reap the benefits of all the cruelty and oppression that they did on our people. And these insurance companies, it's the list goes on. Salakia.
Give him a hand because he's telling the damn truth. That is the truth. And sis said that's crazy. And how is his name attached to serving children? That's the point, sis. I'm gonna leave that comment up there. That's the cruelty of our oppressor. He thinks that's witty because he abused children like Trump does, and like Epstein did. They put his name on something associated to children, like St. Luke's, or what's that bitch that was a Catholic that was having all those kids? She was trafficking all those kids in South America. Well, is it not Martha? What's her name? Her name is synonymous with children's work.
Not Margaret Sanger.
Not Margaret. Hell no. She was a Catholic. I'm talking about this is a Catholic woman who her name is synonymous. It's not Mary. That's in the Bible, Mary Magdalene. It's a woman, Teresa? Mother Teresa. Give them a hand. Good. She was trafficking those kids to the Pope and to those archdioceses in the Catholic Church to rape and molest. Because the Catholic Church is full of PDF files. That's all that's in the church. A bunch of touchers of children. Well, guess what? Mother Teresa is on every child's gambit that's going to help children, because that's how sick our oppressor is. They think that's like that's funny. It's like a hyperbole. They know what they've been doing to these kids. They know what they've been doing to humanity. They know they're cruel and evil and disgusting and psychopaths like Epstein and Trump, but they're going to put their name on something that's for humanity and for kids. That's not a coincidence. That's on purpose. Well, this is what God said. Read that again, Kakam. Verse 2.
Verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen.
God said to the white man, to Esau, I have made you small amongst the heathen. You thought you were so big you can get away with anything. Not in the Middle East right now. You know, you're small amongst Soleimani. You're small amongst Saddam Hussein. You're small against Osama bin Laden. How long did it take them to find Osama bin Laden? 30 years. They wasted $3 trillion. How many American soldiers' lives were wasted in a war for George Bush's hubris? The same thing is coming in Iran. You're going to, I mean, brother, if America invades Iran with ground forces, you're going to see those mountains swallow up Delta Force, swallow up the SEALs, swallow up the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Marines. It's going to swallow them up like Afghanistan didn't. Afghanistan's mountains were rough and tough in itself. The terrain was already, I mean, brother, if they invade Iran, it's going to be 100 times worse than Afghanistan. You do know that, don't you, Kakam? You do know that Iran is 90 million people. It's 3 times the size of Iraq, 2 times the size of Afghanistan, with more the geographical terrain is ridiculous. Just to invade from the Iraqi border is insane.
Right.
With a military. Remember, Afghanistan didn't have a military, and it still took America 30 years. I say 30 because they were tracking Osama bin Laden since 01. It's 20. Well, I guess that would be 25 years. It took them 25 years. And a land full of goat herders and farmers could come. Farmers whooped the ass and killed Delta Force members and SEAL Team 6 members. America's best of the best. You know how many CIA agents died in that war? You know how much military died? How much assets were lost? Just for who to rule Afghanistan right now? The Taliban. The Taliban rules Afghanistan. Who rules ISIS? I mean, who rules? I just gave you the answer. Who leads Iraq? Who rules Iraq? ISIS. The same ISIS that America spent years trying to destroy. They're still at war with Iraq. You do know that, don't you? They're still at war in Syria and Iraq to fight who? ISIS and ISIL. That's what we were over there for in 2016, Operation Inherent Resolve, trying to fight ISIS. ISIS is in charge of Iraq. They didn't have militaries. This wasn't peer-to-peer combat. This was a bunch of goat herders and improvised explosive devices. If that idiot Trump sends their troops to Iran, that is the end of the world. Barakatha Yahweh Shah.
That's right.
But the point is, it's good for us. You see, white people probably watching like, why are they cheering about this? Because that's our salvation, Mr. White Man. So yes, we're cheering and happy about it. It's a detriment to white people, but it's a glory to us. You understand? But the point I'm making with that is you're small amongst the heathen. America has the greatest, most powerful military that the world has ever seen. This is the richest country in the history of mankind, and they're getting their ass beat by goat herders and sheep farmers because God has made them what could come?
Small among the heathen.
They are small amongst the heathen. The white man is only big amongst who? His slaves. That's who he's big amongst. And the only reason he's big amongst blacks and Hispanics is because we don't have the same spirit as those Arabs. If niggas and spics had the same spirit as those Arabs, white people would be expelled from America. But we're not going to blow ourselves up. And we're not radicals. Our people are kind people. We're nice people. We're kind. You understand? We're kind. We're nice. We allow Chinese to set up shops in our neighborhood, and we don't do anything to them. We allow white people to, patrol our community, and it's normal. No other race of people is that normal to. Not the Chinese, not the Arabs, not the whites, not the Jewish. They have their own race patrolling them. You understand? The Africans have their own race patrolling them in U Street in DC. We're a people who are kind. We're kind, guys. So we're not radicals, and we're not wild men like Ishmael. So we're not going to blow the White House up. We're not going to commit crimes against white people. We're going to go do our slavery. We're going to take care of our families, and we're going to go to church, and we're going to praise white Jesus. That's what we're going to do. You see, if we were radicals and wild men like Ishmael, like Arabs, their white men wouldn't be in America. There wouldn't be no America. It would be the United States of niggas, spics, and redskins. You understand? Because we are radicals. We're not wild criminals. And so because of that, our oppressor thinks that he can treat every other race of people like he has done us. He cannot. Because God has made him what?
Small among the heathen.
He's small amongst the heathen. Keep reading, Kakam.
Kanawakan. Thou art greatly despised.
Yeah, verse the white 3. Man is despised, Doc. America is despised. Do you understand? He is hated by, excuse me. Growing up in America, you think because you are secluded to your environment and you grow up thinking everything is America. You grew up not understanding other people's culture and their language and their history. When you go to other countries, and when I say other countries, black people, tribe of Judah, I don't mean Jamaica and Trinidad and Mexico. When I say other countries, I mean UK. I mean Turkey. I mean Iran. I mean Afghanistan. I mean Dubai. I mean, Haifa, Israel, Madrid, Spain. I mean the other part of the world. I mean Malaysia, Thailand, China. When you go to other countries, you're going to see how much America is hated. I would never forget our first day in Naples, Italy. I will never forget it. As we're walking onto the pier, as we're going out into the countryside or into the country of Naples, the city of Naples, there was an African riding his bike. He was an ugly African. And to be an ugly African, you got to be ugly, Jack. This was an ugly African, brother. Looked like a goddamn greyhound could come. This ugly ass African was riding his bike, and he saw this wave of U.S. sailors coming onto Naples, Italy. And there's a lot of Africans in those European countries, just so y'all know. He's riding his bike, and he stops. And now they always brief you before you go into the countryside on Liberty, and they say, don't tell anyone you're American. Don't tell anyone you're American. Brother, he says, y'all are American? And then nobody really answered, but you can clearly tell, you can clearly tell an American, anywhere you go in the world, you'll know somebody's American, trust me. And he said, F America, F America, F America. And it's like that everywhere you go. No one likes America. No one likes the white man too. Remember I said that. They don't like white people in Europe. Do you understand that? In Europe, they don't like white people. They don't like white people anywhere because America is greatly despised. Why are white people in America greatly despised? Because of the crimes you've committed against everybody. Because you murdered everybody. That's why. White people always try to act like they're innocent. Well, why does everyone hate us? Why does no one like America? Because you're criminals. That's why. Because you stole their homeland from them. Because you bombed their countries into oblivion so that Israel can set up shop there. That's why. They don't like you. And rightfully so. Brother, this has been this way since the book of Obadiah. People didn't like Esau forever. Do you understand? Do you understand that Esau's mother, who was that? Rebecca? She didn't like her own son.
Right.
Esau was just a bastard. The white man has always been a drifter. He's always been some bastard that no one wants or likes. Go ahead.
Salaki, if I could, did you see that video of the white woman going to like Laosha or wherever she was at? I got the little clip, but I don't know if you've seen it, where she walks in and all the little Laotian kids, they screaming, crying like, because it's a white woman, you know what I mean? So they was just terrified of this white woman coming into this little village. You could tell it's like a third world country somewhere. But this just goes to show you that, the Esau is greatly despised. So as soon as they came in, they just seen that pale skin. And back in the day, it used to be like, oh, that's white people. But now, you greatly despise.
Excuse me, damn right. Give him a hand. No one likes you, white people. No one likes America. No one likes you, right? That's a sign that this is talking about a specific people. Go ahead, keep going, Kaka.
Kanamakam. Verse 3. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee.
Ooh-wee.
Though
the what? This is the part you need the most. Read that again.
The pride of thine heart have deceived thee.
The pride of thine heart. I'll end the war when I want to end the war. Right. I can do what I want to do. I started this. I'll end it. This is the pride of their heart. You understand? There is no more prideful race of people than white people. They're proud for nothing. Do you understand? White people are proud like they invented the light bulb. White people are proud like the country their forefathers didn't steal from other people, other races of people. Like they didn't unalive the North American Indian. White people are proud like they have something, like they're innocent, which is pride. That's real pride. You black people you don't know pride like the white man does. Black people really have something to be proud of. You understand? We have something to be proud of because of who we descend from, our culture, because we are the most copied. We have something to be proud of. White people really don't have anything to be proud of, but they're so proud. That's pride. That is literally what pride is. No one can. I didn't do anything wrong. Let bygones be bygones. That wasn't my forefathers that enslaved your people. They're just so proud, like Donald Trump. We are winning so much. Everyone's telling me how much we're winning. They saying Mr. Trump, when are we going to stop winning because we're winning so much? That's a dummy and that's proud. That's hubris. And only the white man has it better than anyone. Keep going, Kakam.
Kanawakan. Though thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
Keep going.
Whose habitation is high. That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
That's Trump. It's only talking about one person now. Who shall bring us down to the ground? Have you seen our ballistic missiles? Have you seen our interceptor missiles? Meanwhile, goat farmers have killed Delta Force members. Goat farmers. Who can bring us down? Who can bring us down? Everybody can bring you down because you're so goddamn prideful. The Vietnamese brought you down with tunnels. You see, the white man that's what he says, Trump. He's, who can bring me down? This is we have the most powerful military in the world. We got these drones and these interceptor missiles. Who can bring me down? Brother, these drones are going to bring your ass down, Mr. White Man. Right. This is going to humble you. A $25,000 drone. Meanwhile, it takes $3 million to defend one of these. Yeah, you're going to be brought down, Mr. White Man. In the valley of decision, you're going to be brought down. You're going to be brought down in the valley of Jehoshaphat when our King Christ returns. There, the Lord is going to make a decision. And he's going to decide who he wants to rule this planet Earth for the remainder of his time. Keep going, Kakam.
Kanamakan. Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and that though thou set thy nest among the stars.
That's the moon. That's where the intercontinental ballistic missiles are. They're amongst the stars. They're on the moon. They're in outer space. Ain't that what Barack Obama just came out and told you? They've been to outer space multiple times. That devil Elon Musk have been out of space like every week over the last 3 years. That's how you get Starlink, because there are satellites in outer space. There are more than just satellites in outer space. There are intercontinental ballistic missiles. And the concept of a nuclear weapon is literally going from outer space and then hitting a pinpoint target. Russia's, North Korea's, China's, and America. They set their nest above the stars. You see that, Kakam? Those ICBMs are literally amongst the stars. One day there's going to be raining missiles on this earth, and they're going to come from above the stars. That's where our oppressor sets his nest. Meaning what? That's where his military, not his military, that's where his weapons are. His intercontinental ballistic missile weapons are. His ICBMs, his nuclear warheads are. Because that's, the white man likes to be high. He comes from the clefts of the rocks. That's what the Bible just says. The Bible just said he builds his nest among the stars because that's where his home once was. His home figuratively was in the clefts of the rocks. You ever seen the cave system in Europe? It is high, brother, high. It's very high. It's like living in the goddamn World Trade Towers before they fell. It was high, and he likes to build things high. That's not our culture, to build shit 50,000 feet in the air. Those Arabs get that from the white man too, just so y'all know. You go to Dubai and all those, the tallest, the Burj Khalifa. I've been up there, brother, it's so high, you feel it swaying when you get up there and you see the clouds. I got pictures in my phone. I'll show you one day, could come. That Burj Khalifa was amazing, but it was scary. And it's the spirit of white people to build everything so goddamn high. Why? That's why when the World Trade Centers got hit, they didn't believe it could happen to them because of the pride of who could bring us down. They built it high because of who else did this? The Babylonians, Nimrod. Mm-hmm. They built a Tower of Babel that was going to reach heaven. That's the white man's spirit. He wants to go up there so he can be worshipped as God because he thinks he is God. That's the, who else did this? The Egyptians. The Egyptians did the same thing with the obelisk. They wanted to build it high to reach what? Heaven, so they could be God. God on earth. That's not our culture, our spirit, or our way. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians are low to the ground. Precept. That's in the Bible. What I just said is literally in the Bible. We are low. We are base people. We're low to the ground. Not base. I shouldn't say base because that implies that we are animalistic. But we are low. We're meek. And the Bible says the meek shall inherit the earth. Not some arrogant bastard who wants to build towers to be God. That's not our way.
Right.
We don't build these large, big towers. That's not our culture. We're not trying to be high. Black people scared of heights. We ain't trying to jump out of a perfectly good airplane, let alone live up 50 stories in the sky. It's not our way because we are low people. We're meek. We're the slaves. You understand? That's our culture, to be low, to humble ourselves to a higher power. But when you're full of pride, you are the higher power. That's why the white men are atheists. They don't believe in a God. They don't believe in a higher power because they think they are the higher power. Keep going, Kakon.
Khan. Obadiah, chapter 1 and 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Most High.
Verse
all right, 5.
Clip that, Kakon. And now go to Matthew chapter 6, verse 19. And this is where we're going to finish off. This is where your focus should be, right? Your oppressor, he wants to build his towers high because he's so prideful, because he thinks he's God. He wants to be up there next to God like Nimrod and the Egyptians and Pharaoh. That is their way. Heathens have always had that culture to just go higher, higher, higher because they aren't meek and humble. Because they steal from poor people, unlike we do. Because they're just evil, corrupt human beings, unlike us. We're a meek people. Well, meek people, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, as you see the war transpire in the Middle East, the war in the Middle East. And no, we are not Black nationalists. We are Israelites, right? As you see everything transpire in the Middle East, you get worried and concerned, especially as that gas goes up. I looked at the gas today. I said, "Ooh!" I started to say, "Oh boy," you understand? I started to get a little worried. Let me show you where you should focus in these last days, and then we're going to get out of here. Go ahead and read that, Kakon.
Khan, Matthew chapter 6 and verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasure upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt.
Christ said, don't lay up your treasures. I'm sorry, he said, lay not up your treasures upon earth, which is what every other race of people do because they don't believe in the afterlife. They don't believe in a God. They in theory, our oppressor and heathens, they don't really believe in, they believe this is it. You only live once. They don't understand that real treasure comes after you live, reincarnation, your posterity. They don't understand that concept. So they try to steal and do everything, kill, get wealthy now. They have to have it now. Instant gratification. They lay up all their treasures on earth with $50 million mansions, $100 million cars. That is that's their culture. Keep going, Kakam. Christ is saying, don't do that. Keep going.
And where thieves break through and steal.
Come on, man. You're going to get your car and house broken into like Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes because you put so much effort into looking rich. You got to show everybody the money you have, don't you? You're going to get robbed. Keep going.
Khan. Verse 20. But lay up for yourself treasure in heaven, where neither moth. Lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven.
I have a different retirement plan for you if you're Black or Hispanic. If you're Native Indian, I have a different retirement plan. Don't worry about looking rich. Don't worry about building riches here on earth. Worry about building riches for the kingdom of heaven. Lay up your treasures for the future. That's what Christ is saying. Don't lay them up here on earth that's going to be corrupted by moth, by bugs, by thieves. Lay them up spiritually. This is a spiritual treasure. You understand? He's comparing a spiritual treasure with a physical treasure. Don't buy into physical treasures. And if this, listen, in these last days, you better not be spending thousands of dollars trying to look rich and rent. If I see one of you niggas, I don't care if you're in the school or out the school. If I see you niggas renting Rolls Royces to take your woman on a date, I'm gonna blaze you. You understand? I am gonna go upside your goddamn head and say, why didn't you put this into the school, or why didn't you put this into a generator or land? Brother, there are things that you need now in these last days that, why would you, brother, the whole concept, it blows my mind. You're going to spend $1,500 a minute, an hour to look rich. You're putting your treasures up for this earth that are going to get corrupted when Christ returns anyway. What do you got, a 401k? Right. Nigga, you better take that money out the 401k, out that children's fund, and you better give your money to Commanding General Yahanna, because this world doesn't have much longer. What are you doing? Putting up your treasures for what? You better put your treasures up spiritually. You better make sure that you have a spiritual retirement plan. You understand, Kakam? That's what Christ is saying. I got a better retirement plan for you, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Come into the truth and put in the work that is needed to usher in Christ. That's a real retirement plan. Precept, make thy election sure. You're going to rule this planet, Black people, Latinos, and Native Indians. Why are you buying Rolls Royces to be rich here on earth now? When Christ returns, it's all going to be destroyed anyway. So how about you plan on ruling in the next kingdom? There's only one way you can do that. Keep reading.
Khan, Matthew 6:20. But lay up for yourselves treasure in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Verse 21. For where your treasure is, there will your heart also be.
Read verse 22.
Will your heart be also. Verse 22. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light.
Listen, this is what you should do. You should focus all of your energy, your resources, what you consume. It should be focused on the truth. That's all your focus should be on right now. You should go to your camp leader and say, Salaki, sir, what more can I do to help benefit this camp? What can I do to help the school? If you're not in the truth, come into the truth. If you're white, call Commander General Yahanna and say, what can I do to help the truth? All of your focus should be on the truth. That's where your focus should be on. It should be focused on, how do we build better schools? How do I go into El Paso, Texas, into Nueva Mexico, into Raton, Nueva Mexico, and build a school there? How do we conquer this earth so that we usher in Christ? Because that is a better retirement plan. Why could come? Because that is a treasure that's stored up in heaven. Because when Christ returns, the more work you've done in this truth, you're going to get more power when Christ returns. That's better retirement plan could come. I'm not worried about looking. I'm not trying to get no damn Rolls Royce. I'm not trying to take my wife or my wives out to $15,000 a night dinners. I'm not trying to invest in real estate. You idiot. What are you doing investing in real estate? Nigga, you want to invest in real estate? Go buy land for your nation. That's what you should do. What am I buying mansions to rent? Brother, in a second, nobody's going to be paying rent. You're going to go and get rental houses that no one can afford. It's a terrible investment right now. Here's a better investment. Go to camp. Go get 1 million subscribers on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram for Commander General Yahanna. This is what you should do. You should go do what Captain Cesariak is doing. Do what Captain Mashak is doing. Do what the men in the truth do. And that's a better investment. And just multiply on that. That's where your focus should be. And if you're a sister, the same goes for you. You should be covering your head, closing your mouth, wearing a dress, and learning how to be a daughter of Zion and how to improve on being a mother. You know how much women can affect us in the future? Brother, all this expendable money women have, they could be using it to buy these farms and these ranches, because in a second, you're going to need them. And then you're going to need school teachers. You're going to need sisters who can teach children, who are patient with children, special needs children. Because in a second, it's going to get so bad that you're going to only be relying on niggas and spics. And if all we have are Rolls Royces and mansions, we're going to die. We need something that is a real treasure, and that's the truth. That's wisdom. That's something that cannot be corrupted by moths, by bugs, or by thieves. That's where your focus should be in these last days. With that, I pass the class over to Priest and Officer Kukumgabar.
Damn right. Damn right. This is the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, started on the 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves for the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After that 6 months period, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to that brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court one another. And then after that 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, that is a commandment. You can find that in the book of Numbers, chapter 18 and 21. In the book of Malachi, chapter 3, 8 through 10, that means a tenth. In the Hebrew, it's ma'ashara. And that's 10% of any penny or increase that the Lord gives you. You could give that to the Treasury Department or to the teacher. A priest fund or a free will offering for a priest is not mandatory. It's whatever amount you would like. And the upcoming Holy Convocation, of course, we got the Lord's 57th annual Passover. That would be April 4th, Salakia, 2026, down in Houston, Texas.
That's
of course, contact your nearest camp leader or whatnot for more information. Pay your Passover fee, of course. Also, if any brother wants to come into the school, start wearing all black shirts, pants, boots, war scarf. And with that, Amajim, men of Israel, let's give a courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Amajim, which means to stand. Amajim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yazmatah, hands down. Sar means to turn. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Amajim, which means to stand. Men of Israel, Amajim Shabbat, Amajim Barak,
Yahweh Shamar Alathan Bashim Yahushua.
Yahweh Shamar Alathan Bashim Yahushua.
Yazmatah classes.
All right, Priest. Shalom, Akim.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The I.S.U.P.K, under Commanding General Yahanna, presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person, ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahanna. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and war like apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.